Hey guys, my name's Steel. I'm in-game leader for 100 Thieves Valorant, and today I'm going to talk about the map Haven and how to play it efficiently. Every map in this game has a gimmick. Haven's gimmick is that there's 3 bomb sites, A, B, and C. If we start with attack, the thing that attackers want to do the most on this map is they want to be able to use the fact that there's so many different entry points into these bomb sites that they can do a lot of fakes, a lot of lurks, and establish a lot of map domination and presence. If they're able to take the defenders off of watching A long, A sewers, middle, garage, and long C, and split the defenders apart, then it's going to be really easy for a Haven attack to come together really well. So if we look at the 5 different lanes that there are in the map, it's a lot for the defenders to manage by themselves. So the defenders are going to have to take a lot of gambles, they're going to have to take a lot of stacks, and they're going to leave a lot of holes in their defenses. It's up to you to decide how you're going to exploit these holes and how are you going to manipulate the rotations. And if the enemies are trying to hold each lane with one person, then it means that they are not playing together. And if they are not playing together, then they're going to be easy to kill together. First things that you have to understand is that this orb down at long C is super important and it's super easy to get. There's different ways that you can get this orb control. You can use a Phoenix firewall, you can come and peek it with multiple people, you can have someone with an op come and post up on the common peak spots, you can use a Sova recon dart to ping anyone in the site, you can use a smoke from either Brimstone or Omen at the top of the entrance here to block any vision, and then you can try to just like grab it. But the fact that the orb is down here and it's basically saying, hey, come get me, it means that it's probably a good idea to grab it. And you can grab it onto a hero or agent that makes a lot of sense. They get a lot of value out of their ultimate. So Sova is a great example of an agent that gets a lot of ultimate value. Jet is another, Phoenix is another. These are just agents that as soon as you get your ultimate, you can basically like use it whenever, and they serve a bunch of different functions, and there's no real like bad way to use the ult. Even if you don't directly get a kill with it, you still get a lot of value with it. The next thing is taking middle control. This is obviously a really scary place to be when you're at middle, because defenders, they can go for an aggressive peek out garage doors, they can get a lot of damage off on this like narrow choke point here. If you're out in middle, you're pretty exposed to like a bunch of different pushes, and coming from mid window is also really scary because a lot of teams, they could like walk down the left side of mid here and get a kill and fall back if they're Reyna, for example. A lot of Jets like to set up here with an op and stare down middle, and these are just very scary angles to be at, especially if like an enemy has an Odin and he's just spamming the garage doors. So a lot of people are like, maybe I don't want to go middle. But the importance of middle control is basically how you're going to manipulate all the rotations. And what you have to understand about this map is that the rotation from C all the way through CT spawn or defender side spawn to get to A, it's a really super long rotation. So if you're able to keep players at C and then not allow them to rotate all the way to A if your teammates are hitting A, or vice versa, you take A control and you not allow them to go C, it's really super strong. But another thing that's super strong is that if the defenders decide that they're going to try to do a shorter rotation by running from A to C through B or C to A through B, then this rotation, having a player up close in these positions ready to duel, is really strong, and it makes it really nerve-wracking for the defender to want to go and just cross the site. They're always going to be like, you know, is there a guy going to be walking in here? Is he going to duel me? Am I going to die here? And then they're going to, you know, the attackers are going to go to the other side. So as a defender, you're really scared about this duel, and it's really favored towards the attacker. Not so much because if you go in here, you're going to have like a positional advantage, but just because like if you're able to take this duel, if they peek you in this angle here, or you fight this angle instead, this is a very like, you know, 50-50 fight. And if you win the fight as an attacker, you're gonna be putting your team in a really favorable position. Whereas like a defender winning this fight against you, it's like, it's not really worth it. It's not even worth it really for him to take that fight. He needs to do it out of like a necessity almost. Taking middle control, it's a little funky because There's no like one way to do it. There's definitely like a lot of ways that you can do it successfully if you have a jet on the team. Just one simple smoke like this and then peeking out and getting into this position here is really super strong, super quick, super effective at getting out middle. There's other ways you can get out. Phoenix, you can molly the ground here. You can come up close, you can flash in and peek. Omen smoking garage window or the front of B site. Same thing with Brimstone, can be really effective. Using a Sova drone isn't like the most, like the best decision, just because you are putting a lot of like, the Sova drone is really valuable, and to kind of like waste it this early and this quickly into the round, and doesn't really get you all that much. It's really not that worth it, but it's a possibility. Raise, you can send a boombot or the blast pack, the grenades over here. This is pretty valuable as well. So there's a lot of different ways that you can take control of this area. You can put a Cypher cam up here and get info on what they're doing or not, but it's not like really helping you establish that sort of control. Sky, you can send a flash in. Breach, you can flash it or fault line it. Loads of different ways that you can take control of the garage area or push them back. And if you're able to negate the garage aggression, then you've pretty much basically secured mid, because this 1v1 duel, or this duel here, is pretty favorable. It comes down to just like who's going to win the fight, the aim fight. And taking this fight, again, for the attackers is way better than the defenders, because everyone's out in the open, and it comes down to just who hits their shots. And if an attacker wins this duel, they're in a really good situation. Again, 3 bomb sites, and then you're going to have 5 different choke points that you can go through. And if there's only 4 defenders, then it's very, very difficult for them to just like hold all of them. They're going to have to give things up. A is definitely like really important to establish as an attacker. There's going to be a lot of ability usage to stop you from coming here. Defenders know how important it is for them to hold A, so they're going to give you a fight coming in here. And sometimes it's not even worth it to come here early. Sometimes it's good to deny information just so that the defenders kind of want to play more than one person at the site. Because if they have to keep more than one person at the site, that means that there's 3 defenders between garage, B, and C. And that's really good for you as an attacker. So denying information, namely by, you could throw a jet smoke here, throw a Cypher cage at the cross, you can use a camera, you can use abilities such as like a Sova recon arrow or a Sage slow to help you take control of this area. You can use a smoke down here. Breach flashes or fault lines really good as well. So there's a bunch of different ways that you can take control of this area, and it's really good for you to, at the very least, deny information of whether you could be here or not, if you're not going to immediately take control of this. And you can always come back and take control of this area late in the round. It doesn't really matter what order you take the map control in, it just matters that you know what parts of the map are important to take. A lot of teams, players, especially in ranked, they'll go 5 people towards A at the start of the round, and then what happens is the defender would actually come towards B at the start of the round, walk down, see nothing here at all, and their C player is also just peeking down long C and sees absolutely nothing. And then they're just like, wait, there's nothing C, and there's nothing middle or like coming garage or pressuring B, and we hear footsteps towards A. They're gonna know that you're coming A, and they're gonna have 4 people there before you're even in the site. And then you're gonna think to yourselves, what's happening? Are they cheating? Are they stream sniping? And the answer is like, no, they're not. They went aggressive for a push. They got information that you're not here, and then they've decided to take a gamble and stack this area, knowing that you're not in these other areas yet, and it's likely that you're just going to do a 5-man hit. So it's really important that at the start of a round, for example, you don't really allow this guy to get the information on C. Grab this orb while you're here, because it's super easy to get. 2, make sure that no one's coming down and getting a little bit of information, getting an advanced inserted position. And then 3, when you've established that the orb is yours and they're not going to do anything about it, they're not pushing middle, they're going to be afraid of doing so, then you can decide, okay, I'm also going to come A, and they can't afford to not play people towards B, people towards garage, because if you do this right, they won't know if you're about to do a B hit, or they won't know if you're about to go garage and C split. They won't know. So doing the rest of the map control in any given order, you can start with A control first, get a person in sewers or long, and then come back and take middle control. And then once you have middle and long A or sewers control, so you can decide where you want to go. Do we go A? Do we group and go as 4? Do we go as 5? Do we want to fake A and go B? Do we want to fake B and go A? There's all sorts of different things that you can do, but it all starts with taking that simple map control.
I just wanna be